Hey friends, how you doing? Welcome back to my channel. It is TheTranspondster here, and I am bringing you another speed build in The Sims 4. Today we are building a bubble tea and thrift shop in Oasis Springs. This lot type does come with the high school years expansion pack, but I don't think that it hurts to have some of those pack specific lots in some of the other worlds, especially like a bubble tea store in a desert type world. It just feels like it's fitting somewhere for your Sims to go get a cold refreshing drink when it's hot out. And then because it is a thrift and bubble tea store lot type, you do have to build both. Those are the requirements, so unfortunately you don't have the choice to separate them, but I think that the two of them paired together do make a really good teen hangout area. Naturally, they come with high school years, it makes sense, but that was the intention with this lot, for somewhere in Oasis Springs for the teens to hang out, and I think it turns out perfectly. We end up making more out of the lot than just those two stores. We end up getting a basketball court around the back, and then I do make it look like there is a bus shelter here. I felt like that was fitting if it was a teen hangout lot. Not all teens drive, so it makes sense that they would take the bus. I do originally size one of those candles down, but I don't like that the flame hovers over. It's not too noticeable when you size it down just the one time, but it's nicer just to have them the same size and there's no floating flames. I do make a break room in the thrift shop, so I think that technically if your Sims are hanging out on this lot, you will be able to go and use the fridge and microwave that I put in there. So there's a little added bonus, especially if you're doing rags to riches. You have a lot that you can go and cook on. I don't have a barbecue on this one, but I do try and add those in some of my other community lots. I'm always looking to make them more sim friendly for all your Sims to enjoy and not just your young adult Sims, because I feel like this game, it leans very heavily towards a lot of functionality for young adults and none of the other ages, but we're trying to change that one lot at a time. I did originally do some dark stone on the ground, but it felt like it was too much of a contrast with the sand, so I went with a lighter tone, and I think that it definitely has more desert vibes with that tone. And then on the inside, I do go a little overboard with the purple. It is like purple threw up in this store, but I think it ends up being so cute and a little bit trendy, like somewhere where the younger crowd would shop, which is exactly what we're going for and exactly what I think the pack intended for it to be when it created this lot type, because it was the high school years lot type. I am just putting some shoes from the home decorator pack on this little like displayer to make it look like there's some shoes for sale too. It felt like a good way to fill in that little empty space that was there, and then I just sized down a sign so it looks like there's like a little sale sign there, and then we're putting in the register along the accent wall. I think that turned out really well, and I actually get one of the eco lifestyle wall decorations. It's the succulent plant wall. I love it so much. Actually, it might even be in the plant category. I can't remember now. I would imagine that a lot of the staff working here is on the younger side, so it is very cute and trendy even when it comes to the break room. There's a lot of pops of color, and I think it would be a really fun place to work if I was a teenager again. I'm just trying to fill in some of the wall a bit, and it felt like the string lights, typically I wouldn't use them in a commercial lot, but it felt fitting for this shop specifically because it is geared towards a little bit of a younger sim. And then I'm just making all the change rooms the same thing like you would find in a store. I don't actually know if your Sims can walk in there because they do have curtains over the archway, but I'm pretty sure that they can. Not that they really need to, but I mean, if you want your Sim to go sit on that chair or look in the mirror, you're good to go. Honestly, this seems like such a high-end thrift shop because, to be real, the ones near me that I would go to are so kind of dingy feeling, like they're very bland and not necessarily the cleanest place. So this is like top tier thrift shop. I just put a poster up, like maybe someone's advertising a show or something there. And then I was trying to find some last touches of decorations, and I ended up just putting a mirror up. I wanted to get a little bit more funkiness happening, but it felt a little limited in what I could decorate with, so I keep it pretty simple. And then there's that bus shelter that you see me grab and just place to the side. I found it while I was decorating this shop and it gave me the idea, so I definitely ran with that. I end up using some of the base game art. I really liked that one that I selected because it makes it look like this shop's really about inclusivity and making sure that all kinds of customers can shop there. And here I am adding in the basketball court. This was honestly probably the hardest part of the build, trying to make the ground blend in within the court area and the outside area, but at the end it all turns out. I do get some benches to sit, so if your Sims were theoretically having a game, each team could have a bench, or their friends can just sit and watch. There I am playing with the concrete again. I do believe it ends up changing one more time before the end of this build, and then I'm just slotting in the other building to the side here, making sure that the bus stop is where I wanted to place it, because that seemed to become the start of the show for me. Once I found that little overhang, I knew it had to be there, no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And then I make the bubble tea shop 2 stories, but it is entirely open. There's no actual second story inside. It's just a really tall ceiling, and we get a lot of windows on the front to let a lot of light in. I do something a little funky with the roof because I do find that Oasis Springs has a little bit more of a modern vibe, especially when it comes to the city part of the world, and especially commercial buildings. Unless like you're in a small town, they're not typically in houses, they're in their own very boxy buildings. I'm getting a little seating area outside. I went with a lot of pinks and blues and pastels. It seems to be the vibe for this pack. I'm definitely well beyond my teen years, so I don't know if it's still really in trend, but it definitely had its phase where everything was pastel, lots of wavy lines and polka dots, lots of cutesy decor. To be honest, even if it's out, I think it's something that I'll always kind of like, but I think I'm too afraid to decorate my own house with that kind of stuff. I've always wanted a more grown-up vibe, but maybe I'm doing things a little wrong. It would be a lot more fun to have that fun pop of color throughout my house. I really hate that when you slot a garbage can to the changing tables, that it really only slots in the one spot. It would be nice if it was more flush against the wall, so I actually don't attach the garbage to the changing table. I know it's a little bit annoying when it comes to actual gameplay, because it means your sim will have to physically put their diaper in the garbage as opposed to automatically slotting in there, but one extra step for aesthetic has never bothered me. Like I said, lots of pinks and blues here. It's very easy to do using the high school years pack. I find it odd that this lot type does require a microphone. It makes me feel like they're trying to do like an open mic kind of thing in this bubble tea shop. I assume that the microphone is expected to be used in the bubble tea side of things. To be honest, I've never actually gone to the bubble tea and thrift shop that come with the high school years pack, so I don't know how EA has theirs laid out, if it's all one building or 2 separate buildings, but I envision it to be 2 separate buildings, and yeah, the microphone just doesn't make sense in the thrift shop side of it. I am doing a little play area in the back of the bubble tea shop. This is kind of inspired by a real life cafe that I attend with my son. He's just a little baby, so we do some mom and baby play dates at a cafe. maybe once a week or every other week, and they have this gated play area next to a sofa and some comfy chairs, so it's perfect for the moms to grab a quick bite to eat and watch the little ones play. I do go on the gallery to get some wall art again for this one. I just wasn't fond of my options when it came to the actual build by menu. I feel like we're lacking, and unfortunately you really only have the 2 wall art options for the bubble tea store. Nothing else really makes sense in here, so unless you maybe use the photos from Tiny Living with the cupcake swatch, but those ones I find I always want it to be a different wood tone to the picture that I have, and it makes me miss the Sims 2 days when you could actually change the swatch of your wood to the rest of the item, usually the fabric on a couch or the sheets on a bed. I've actually never used those foam tiles for this gated kid area, so I thought they were perfect, but then I ended up putting a rug over top of it anyways because I like the look of that better than the very obnoxious rainbow floor pattern that I had going on over there. And then I do go with a pink and blue theme in the bathrooms just because it kind of took over the rest of the bubble tea store, so it seemed fitting. I do try and make my bathrooms more to be gender neutral because I know that that's been a really big thing in The Sims, and it's something that's easy for someone that hasn't faced that kind of thing to forget about. I know it's something that I never really paid much attention to because it's not a real life issue that I encounter personally. I know it is a real life issue, but I think it's good that people are becoming more aware of it through the video games that they play, because to be honest, that's what makes me think about it a little bit more. I don't really know anyone in my life that deals with that situation either, so it's nice to see the small steps. I know they are small and they should be bigger and they should be included right off the bat, but I think something is better than nothing, so we'll take what we can get when it comes to having things like that added to the game. I know they've added like the medical wearables and things like stretch marks for Sims to have, so it's definitely nice to have those additions, and I hope that we get more. And it's always neat to see how the team does approach those things, because I think that can be a sensitive topic to venture into as well. I always find landscaping really hard to do when it comes to Oasis Springs. I am not great when it comes to decorating the desert. I mean, even generally speaking, I don't think that landscaping is my strong suit, but I feel like the more that I do it, the more comfortable I become to do it. And so I feel like I'm getting better, and honestly, if you just place a bunch of random stuff, it tends to work out. In real life, things just grow. They're not curated and perfectly placed, unless you've got a full-time garden maintenance person working on your house. Things are gonna just pop up out of the ground and be there. And then I came across these billboards in the decoration. They're absolutely a debug item, but because I use Better Build By, I have my debug items more organized and they're very easily turned on with the click of a button. So I've become more aware of what options there are in the game, and I actually noticed that in the background this same billboard is being used, and it makes me kind of want to add a bowling alley to Oasis Springs, because it seems like they're trying to hint at something there. And I love the flower beds that ended up in front of the bubble tea store. They look so cute, and it adds like a pop of purple, which I know wasn't the theme in the bubble tea store, but it really ties in with the rest of the lot because the thrift shop has the whole purple theme going. There is no actual bus stop sign, but I thought that sign, I think it's intended to decorate like a fake gas station, but I thought it looked the closest to a bus stop sign, so that's what I got in there, and I'm really happy with how it all turned out. And I love that in that little alleyway I get the mural for the thrift shop. Again, I wish it had more swatches so that you could use different murals on different thrift shops in your game, but I guess EA doesn't anticipate you to be building more than one or maybe two at most. Anyways, we are coming to the end of the build. I thank you again for hanging out with me and watching my creations. I can't wait for the next one to share with you guys. Don't forget to comment any future builds you'd like to see, give a like, thumbs up, and subscribe. Have a good one. Bye.